Sloss and Humphries on the road.
Muggins and cream and muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
That's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh.
So, I've had 1 week to think about it and I've come up with me spin.
Oh, the dog spin?
Uh-huh. So when people say us walking the dog,
Yeah, your dog.
Our dog, yeah. Peggy.
Absolutely. Already raging.
Why are you raging?
Well, one, because I've been very open about the fact that in 26 years, when Ray the fat cat finally dies and we move on to other cats, because she can't have other cats because she's a cunt, we're going to get two Maine Coons, and I want to call them Pegasus and Superman, or Peggy and Sue for short, because I think that's very funny, and also it does Cara's nutting. And Natalie
So what's the reference?
Oh,
What's the Peggy Sue? Bring that closer to your mouth. Technical difficulties. What's the Peggy Sue reference? Is Peggy Sue... Peggy and Sue. It's just because I thought, you know, when you first told me it on the podcast, I thought it was like Kim and Aggie, like the cleaners.
who the fuck are Kim and Aggie?
Like the cleaners from like a TV show. You know, like you've got Kim and Aggie, you've got French and Saunders.
Aye.
You've got... I'm really bad at female combinations.
Aye.
There's way more. You don't know Kim and Aggie?
No.
So I thought Peggy and Sue was like in our homes under the hammer or something like that.
Maybe it is. Oh, is it not? Maybe it is. Maybe that's where I've got it from. Sue, what's that? Lesbian Sue on the Bake Off called? Sue Perkins.
Sue Perkins, yeah.
Has she got a mate called Peggy?
Maybe. So I thought it was something off that, right? But anyway, regardless, Natalie listened to the podcast. You want to call them Pegasus and Superman, so they look like sound dead cool, but then it's Peggy and Sue, so they're like little...
Aye.
And Natalie claims that's not why she wanted to call the dog Peggy, but she never mentioned the name Peggy before she listened to that episode.
I mean, she's baby named Jacked, which is like apparently not the done thing.
My mum fell out with one of our neighbours for probably still to this day.
Aye, not
because
recovered.
They were pregnant together, and my mum was going to call her child Stephanie.
You were going to be called Stephanie?
No, it wasn't me.
No, but that's what you've just said.
No.
We can roll back the tape, and I think you just confirmed that you were going to be called Stephanie.
No, I am recalling this from an account when I was alive. I was pregnant with my sister, who was fated to be called Stephanie. And my mum had spoken publicly about this.
Fanny for short.
Maybe. Is that what Fanny's short for?
No.
Francis, probably.
Aye, Benjamin.
So, my mum was open about this, and then my neighbour, who was also pregnant at the same time, called her kid Stephanie. And personally, if that was me, I'd be like, "Oh, there's two Stephanies living on our street. What do you know?"
Aye.
That wouldn't change it for me. But my mum was just like, "I'm going to call the bitch Justine."
That'll show her.
So,
Well, man, when you name your shit little dog Peggy, I'm still calling our cat Peggy. So,
yeah, cool.
like, I'm not.
Aye.
I just don't think it's fairy.
So I'll come and go to Peggy.
Or is it called Peggy because it pegs you? You fucking loser.
So on that note, which my dog doesn't peg us.
Well, I mean, it's...
But when people see me walking my dog,
Yeah, the dog that your girlfriend
they
picked.
won't go, "Oh, your girlfriend picks your dog."
They will do that.
They will go, "His girlfriend must take it up the arse."
Oh.
Like, she must suck his dick all the time for him to be like...
Right. So what you're hoping is
Like-
that they're going to look at you with your dog and then concoct a lie in their own heads.
No. I'm saying they'll go, "Oh, like, I'd do stuff like that for my lass if she done that sort of thing."
Aye.
They'll do that. Like, they'll see you walking your fucking whatever German Shepherd and all that, and they're going, fucking yeah. She'll just do anything not to shag him. She's going, sure, I have a dog that's going to slobber all over and get hair all over the couch, right? And like, just stop trying to shag us. Just live your life. Get a best friend. And people are going to look at me with a little dog and go, fucking hell, his sex life is off the charts.
I mean, that is some...
I've been trying, Daniel. I've been trying to spin it.
Wish
and
you all
this
the
is what
best.
I've come up with.
All right, well, I hope it's true for you, man.
Okay.
Aye.
And you know what? She's known to sometimes taking up the shit out, like before we're married and that.
Aye.
And I used to
You
get.
sure you want this on the podcast?
I used to get blood. This is a Monday one, isn't it?
Aye.
Oh fuck.
Aye. Sorry, Natalie. Just as always, just so you know, Natalie, I obviously brought up none of this.
Aye, I've ran it past Natalie.
You also look.
I've ran my theory past Natalie.
Aye. And what did she think? Did she tell you you were allowed to have that opinion?
She scratched me chin and gave us a treat.
When do you get your little effeminate dog?
On September the 8th,
Oh,
the anniversary.
is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, totally unplanned, but like saves as a gift. Absolutely saves as a gift. Happy with that. Also, she listened to the podcast, come up with a new dog name, miraculously, nothing to do with the podcast, and also told us that I had to correct everyone. Retraction. That it's $2,500, not 3.75, which I stated, which actually like really shows my trouser wearing stance in the relationship. That like I just was like cool with that.
Well, yeah, and
I mean,
and
look,
£2,500 for a dog is way
still
more reasonable.
It's still a bit too much, but also
There's free ones down the road, mate. They've got entire shops just for. I mean, they're not shops because they're free. You just go rescue a real one, a proper, real, actual dog that does dog things, like bark.
I don't want it to bark.
Nah.
I don't want it to mould hair, and it's not going to mould hair.
You don't want it to defend you under any circumstance.
Don't want it to defend us. I do want it to get anxious. The worst thing about this podcast is we're trialing video on it to see if we can work the video. It might not see the later day or whatever, right? But on the podcast, like the previous podcast last Monday's, like your girlfriend picked a dog episode. Like people couldn't see how absolutely defeated I was. But now there might be an option to go on YouTube and see how utterly defeated I am.
On that note, we are, as always, we're taking further steps to improving the podcast now that you cunts are fucking paying for it. So we will be. We've got one camera. Realistically, at one point we'll probably need fucking two. But we need to work out on. We're getting someone to potentially edit stuff together. The sound's already better. We are making moves to have, I don't know, just better content, but it does instantly become harder on the fucking road.
Yeah, I've actually I've bought, there's this company in Denmark that do like custom made luggage for specific sound equipment. Oh, and I've managed to get hold of a portable carry-on
for this
bad boy.
Carry on.
Oh,
okay.
I mean, right, I looked up EasyJet, right, and unless you've got the legroom seats, right, did you know this with EasyJet, like if you've got legroom seats you get bigger luggage?
No.
By like 10 centimetres or something. So apparently...
When are we fucking flying EasyJet?
Sunday.
Are we?
I think so, we're going to Lisbon. I'm sure it's EasyJet. So I think it's going to be like, depending on what our tickets are, I don't know if they're going to make us put it in the hold, but it'll be fine in the hold. It just means I might have to pay a bit more. But we're flying again soon.
So are we taking these mics with us?
Yes.
Do they have stands?
No, I'll put them in my proper luggage.
Right.
Or we can just bring the little stands or whatever.
But we do have stands.
We could take this off. We could take this off the podcast.
We could.
we could.
Right no. But I think this is fair. The production quality becomes better, but the content becomes way worse.
Oh yeah, it's a good trade-off, isn't it?
It's a fair trade-off.
I did make that really. I made that clear as well when I said like you've upped the game with the tech, but like I can't. I'm not making any.
I refuse to be funny at all anymore. You were never funny, people on the podcast. You fucking hysterical.
You know what? You know when people first find out you're a comedian, and they just like think that you're there and then gonna make them laugh.
Aye.
That is the word. You know what? Somebody like broke the mold with it the other day. It was the guy who sold us the house.
Well,
right?
not personally, but
you don't know him personally, right? But he came round to pick up some mail because some mail still arrived here, and we're giving him these hose back because we've got a new hose, and I was there like, I'll get that back, whatever. And I just got chatting with him, and he asked what it was I do, because he saw me studio and the fucking like foam pads on the wall and all that, and just making conversation. That's what it does. And I told him, and then he just went, "Oh, I bet it makes you sick when people just find out what you do and ask you to be funny." And I was like, oh, the fucking awareness of that. Like, it made us so happy because it was fucking 9 o'clock in the morning. I forgot he was coming round. When I answered the door, I had to quickly grab a t-shirt because I was just in my pyjamas and all that, right? there's some moments, you know, before I've had my first coffee, I've never felt less funny in my entire fucking life.
Aye.
And the last thing I want to do is be in my pajamas, in my kitchen, trying to make someone with a fucking shit-eating grin laugh because they've funded I'm a comedian just now. That's not where I want to be in my life.
That is one of the, like, it's a hack joke that everyone does at the start of their career as a stand-up.
What was yours?
Mine's was...
Do you know the original? Before I tell yours, the original was Bob Monkhouse.
Yeah.
And it was a cartographer. And it was, go on then, draw me a map.
Is that the original
That
one?
was the original. That was the ground zero of that joke. Or the patient zero.
I think mine's was fireman.
Okay. So how did you punchline that?
I can't remember.
Like,
I don't know if I did.
Oh, you're a fireman. Go on then, get us out of a tree.
Or just like light a fire. And then probably like a porn star or something like that would have been where I think
Mine
mine would have gone.
Main one was epileptic.
Aye.
You're epileptic. Go on then, swallow your tongue. And I thought it was quite an original spin on it.
Aye.
I was like quite happy to have me own one of them because I was like, that's alright, that one.
Aye, but that's like a joke. I remember at one point I saw a comedian do a joke, like a new open spot, do a joke with different punchlines along that vein. And some other comedian was like, "Oh, that's my joke," and I'm like, "Buddy, that's all of our joke.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to claim fucking ownership. Like that's because sometimes there is such a thing as blatant fucking joke theft, but then there is also stumbling across the same premise. Now, I stumbled across the same premise as the late great Sean Locke. I used to have a fucking joke, and he did
There's a
it.
carrot in a box.
He did it way better, but the joke was, I always hate that fucking excuse that racists use, which is I'm not racist, some of my best friends are black. That's like saying I'm not a paedophile, some of my closest friends are children, right? So that was one of the first jokes I ever wrote.
Yeah.
And then I went down and me and Sean Locke were doing the same gig and he just told it way better. And I remember at the time, just like my tiny 18-year-old ego just trying to backwards manufacture how Sean Locke clearly had writers and one of them had been to my gig.
Oh no, you didn't.
No, but not. This wasn't anything I said out loud. But while I was watching it, trying to fucking justify it to me, and then it was just after about 10 minutes, I was like, man, you watch the rest of the set, and he was such a brilliant fucking comic. I'm like, he just got there before I did,
Yeah.
and because he's more famous, he's got the rights to the fucking joke.
Sometimes if somebody like just more famous than you gets the joke on a bigger platform, you just have to just admit defeat. You're like, I didn't get it stolen from us, but
That's why I can't do my black stuff anymore because of Chris Rock.
Aye,
He got there
Sorry.
just before me. I think I had it first. Aye. So Sean Locke's dead, and that's sad.
They're like, it's fucking shit because like I mean we met him a couple of times. You done 8 out of 10 cats with him, no?
Yep. He was lovely to me then, and also he was at Altitude. Man.
That's
And he
because that's what I was
he
going to say. I didn't know if
such
you
good
just
fun at Altitude.
because he instigated everyone getting in the cupboard. There was like they used it as a box office, but it was like a little cloakroom, and he was in there with just like the lasses that worked at Altitude, like Natalie, my wife, and Mary, and Soraya, and Belle, and Andy Smart, and a couple of the improv chums, and then Marcus Brigstock went in, and Coppinger, and then fucking me and you came by, and Brett come in, and there was just like there was about fucking 30 were in this tiny little cupboard. It was like a clown car.
And it was just good. What started off as just a shit bit and remained a shit bit, just became funnier and funnier and funnier as it went
But
on.
it was one of them, like, as a like a fresh new comedian compared to him and like lads on that level. It was just one of them bizarre situations where you're like, I'm fucking wedged in a cupboard with Sean Locke.
Aye.
Like, you know how sometimes you just have them moments in comedy where you're just like, the fuck is going on with my life here? I'm just up the Alps somewhere, fucking wedged in a broom cupboard with one of my heroes.
Aye. It was yeah, and here's this is such a testament to what makes a person a good person for me. He was always lovely to my mum and dad.
He was
Like went out of his way to speak to them. Always remembered their name, like because he knew that we were all comedy fans and that we were all big Sean Locke fans. Like he knew it. There was no way that he didn't understand how much we all fucking loved what he did. And sometimes you can get comedians who don't like that and they fucking shirk away from it. But my dad would be sitting there with a big shitty grin telling Sean Locke funny stories, and Sean Locke would laugh at the fucking jokes and join in.
yeah. I noticed he made like a special effort with the non-comedians.
Aye.
Like the non-coms, like he ended up like chatting to Natalie in a bar for ages, and Natalie was just absolutely fucking captivated by him, and that just because like he's just such a good storyteller and he's so funny and so intelligent. And I was just like, I was just really like pleased that he was taking the time out for like, people that weren't in the industries.
Which is what a lot of comedians don't do.
And it's like it's such a shitty thing to overlook, but like the majority, like it's clicky, you know. And I just thought that was absolutely class. And when we watched him from the balcony at the gala show, and just every single comic, just fucking not a single comic missed his performance. You're just like, shit, this is fucking. This is a learning opportunity. It's not just you get to watch someone, you get to try and understand the mechanics of it.
Aye, watch the craft.
But one thing I did think was, you know, when everyone was, because I loved all the testimonials on Facebook, like, and I added to it because one thing I hate when somebody dies is when like people make it about them or try and harvest likes off what their experience is or what their opinion is.
And here's a picture of me with them and the story about the time I met them and how they impacted my life. And I understand that it comes from a good place, because when Trevor Moore died, I really liked one of the other guys from White's Kid You Know. Just kept posting photos of Trevor and just talking about what he was like as a person, and like, you know, how much he loved his wife and how much he loved his kid, and he never tried to do anything fashion related, but he always looked dead good and he took great photos. And it was just really nice to have like this friend of his that's, you know, grieving, but is grieving in a way that he's just telling stories about this man that I really, really liked. And it was an insight, and I'm going, you could do that because you're the friend, like you're there close enough throughout his life to be an actual point. You know, just get to go, I was on a show with him and he said hello once. And God.
I met him once. And I felt a little bit like I was going to do that when I put out a fucking Facebook status. But I did it because I was comforted by everyone else's. I really enjoyed reading all of the testimonials from people that met him briefly to people that had known him like his whole career. Like, that's another thing. It's like I didn't know him very well, but I'm like close to people that are very close to him.
Aye.
And it's like them shockwaves hit you, like the fucking like the passive grief.
Aye.
And I was really comforted by like the industry response to it, and like it was just this day of like just nice thoughts and nice vibes about this man that everyone was sad that we've lost, right? And I'm forgetting where I was going with it.
Well, but people do. You thought you weren't going to do any fucking tributes.
Oh yeah. This is where I was going with it. And then when I saw all of the tributes, I thought it would be really on brand for Sean Locke for it to be a hoax because he wanted to read what people said. It would have been like there
was people. I saw people tagging him in on Twitter, and I'm like, you are aware that the only reason he went on Twitter was because somebody was pretending to be him on Twitter, and he just created a Twitter account, got verified, and then went, this is my real account, I hate Twitter. And that was his last tweet.
That was
That was 7 or 8 years ago.
So funny. So like it was just like because of little things like that, it made you think like, hey, I wonder if he's just fucking like done like, was it Jimmy Nail on you've probably not watched Off We Design Pet, I'm going to assume you haven't.
No.
When they rebooted that, he got the old crew back together by staging his own death so that like the turnout for his funeral, so that he could go, right, it's the only way I could get you in the room.
So you reckon this is Sean Locke just trying to get 8 out of 10 cats back together?
I think Sean Locke is trying to rip off Jimmy Nail. That's my angle.
I'm not on Twitter, but Marlena sent me a fucking message. She was like, do you want to tweet anything about Sean Locke? And I was just like, nah, man, like I'm enjoying reading what other people have to say, but also like I met him a couple of times. He was always a sweetheart to me. Like I was gutted when he died. Like spoke to Cara about it for a bit, spoke to Cullen and that, just been like, you know, he was a really nice guy and he was so funny, but you know, that's my thing. I don't want to just join in this fucking wave. And if that's how people want to grieve, that's how they want to grieve. But the wave I'm choosing is I'm just making my own thing. And fucking some cunt online was just like, why have you not posted about Sean Locke yet? You're going, fucking what, cunt? It's my fucking job to comment on every fucking... I owe you a reaction, do I? What am I, a fucking YouTube star?
Like, for all he knows, you could be, like, really close to him and composing yourself.
Aye.
Like, he doesn't know what the fuck your situation
is.
Oh,
what do you think about this death? What the fuck are you talking about?
But it was... Because Marlena's got your... she's got your Twitter account and she's got your Twitter promote, and the American dates came out and she clearly, like, scheduled a bunch of tweets to time with the release of the things, and scrolling through Twitter, it really looked like you hadn't read The Room.
No, I just think what Sean Locke would have wanted was for people to come see me on tour.
I was scrolling through and it was testimonial after testimonial. It was like, come see me in Boston.
Aye, but you understand that's your
no,
Twitter
that's my
feed.
Twitter feed.
That's not everyone else's.
I know what it did.
Aye, I hate people that, man, you're allowed to be on Twitter. I loved it for years and years and years. But anyone that pretends it's anything other than a vitriolic cesspit.
Aye.
And I'm just like, that's all it is. And man, you can use it for promotion. I understand you can, but like it's a fucking cesspit of shit. Mm-hmm. And like, let's not pretend there are any good rules on it. Like the golden years of Twitter are over now.
Aye.
The QAnon people fucking
very brief.
Aye, that was classified. It was like Vine. Remember how good Vine was?
I liked Vine. What happened to Vine?
I think somebody bought it and then shat it off.
You know, if Vine came out now, do you think like that would be us going, oh, just leave it for the kids? But at the time, we kind of were kids. Is that TikTok?
No. Vine had like parameters of creativity. It was like, it's just 6-second clips. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You're not getting more. You're not getting less.
You hold the video and stop, and it stops recording, but you can continue again, so you could change the environment a bit. And, we were fucking like, I thought we were pretty creative with that. Like, we've done some good Vines.
Bo Burnham's Vines were always fucking brilliant.
Oh,
so many comedians were very, very good in it. Whereas TikTok, I mean, I just can't. I might pay someone one day to do a Daniel Sloss TikTok, which they just do, but I'm actively
Well, it was funny when
never going on it.
When I was doing a bit of research on like Twitch and how to get Twitch viewership. So it's obviously like one of the obvious tips is like tell people about it on social media. Like people will find out about it on social media and come off, and everyone was like, "Do not underestimate the power of TikTok." Like there's so much weight on conversion of like views to like people looking at the rest of your stuff. Like maybe they'll see a short clip, they'll go and check out your YouTube, they'll check out your Twitch, they'll check out your podcast. But for me, it's just like, I don't want to fish in that pond.
Aye.
Like I really don't. And obviously like because with video and this, I'm going to be cutting down shorter clips, getting some subtitles on and putting them out on socials, and I'll put them on like Instagram, and I'll put them on, like I'll build an Instagram specifically for this, so I'm not just spamming off my own account. So that people that follow this are following this for that reason.
Aye.
So that they can see short clips on the... I know I should make a TikTok for the podcast. If we've got video clips to put out and short clips to put out, I know I should. But it would be harder for me than eating me words about getting a shit little dog.
Aye.
It would be like, how many of me words have I going to eat in this world? Like, it gets to the point where you're just like, that episode of Black Mirror where the lad's got the bit of glass next to his throat. Like, and you're just like, I've succumbed to it all. I've succumbed to every single piece of this life.
We've also got, what we were originally talking about there was obviously about adding potentially videos to this, which I imagine we will. The TikTok thing, I wouldn't mind it. A Sloss and Humphries on the road TikTok, that's allowed, but we would both have to stand in the corner for 45 years afterwards.
Okay, right. If we do it, our first post has got to just be us in the corner shagging. Then we get banned off TikTok for explicit
there
content.
We go. We tried. We tried. We nailed it. We were too powerful. They didn't want to see our truth.
We broke the internet.
We've also, you've got merch.
Oh yeah, I've got merch on.
Aye.
I've got the video, if it does come out you can see it, but I've also got the t-shirt. These are a really good cut as well, these Team Muggins t-shirts. Do you like it?
No.
Do you never think like because you can't even tell, like it just looks like a good brand?
What Muggins?
The artwork, Muggins and the knitting and that.
Sure.
It just looks like it doesn't look like you're wearing merch. It just looks like you're wearing a class t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Know what I'm saying? I
mean, I'm actively in competition with you on this,
so you've got yours, which fucking Lady Corbin made, who's a fucking awesome artist.
Aye.
And I instantly loved it, and I think it's going to sell well.
Aye.
So the team.
So we'll do that, and by we I mean you.
So I get to select what garms it goes on.
Aye.
So you're just having a tie-dye range.
Fair enough. I've got absolutely zero. Make it all pink. See if it affects anything. I'll give a shit, man.
Actually, I think tie-dye would be alright. You can't get tie-dye on the merch store. But yeah, because you don't want to choose your options of what it goes on. You want
I imagined it was just.
Do you want us
gonna
to
be
date
the
with Cara? Cara will date with us.
I imagine it was just the same ones that you had. I'll just do
What, the ones I carefully chose for my followers?
hoodies, shirts, condoms. Do they do condoms?
Do you say shirts?
Aye,
Like
shirts.
button-up shirts?
Aye. They not do those?
I don't think so.
Right,
I don't know,
okay.
they might do baseball shirts where it would like operate as a badge on it. I
What
don't know.
about
You wanted a button-up shirt with your
Aye.
logo on. Who wears
just
shirts?
above
Who
the?
wears shirts with a logo?
Do they? Do they do? What's the word I'm looking for here?
Cufflinks.
That's the one.
They don't do cufflinks, but you know what?
Tie, quickie tie for people in office jobs.
Oh, maybe
Can I
they
get a quickie
do.
tie for people in office jobs?
I haven't
Spruce the office
yeah,
up.
like the old keyboard ties and the old South Park ties.
no,
you know, like for the wacky guy, the wacky guy at the office.
Dead on Fridays.
There was one of them at my wedding, wasn't there?
What?
One of the wags that was there, and then one of Natalie's friends' husbands was pure like funny guy at the office. Right, and he's normally funny guy at the wedding, but he was at a wedding full of comedians. He just come off like a pure dork.
And you're like, man, just drop the. It's not your responsibility, man.
I've heard all of these jokes. They're all like print press jokes, like what cookie cutter jokes.
Do they do
Placeholder
chopsticks?
jokes. You know
Socks.
what? You know what?
Do they do Vans?
Do you want Vans? I don't
The
think they do
shoes,
do- I
not
don't
the
think they do
vehicles.
footwear actually. But what? You need a trolley token.
What?
Just for the old school, just for the first, our first ever episodes that we ever put
Aye.
up there was just a lot of trolley token bants about you having a trolley token.
Which I just still have a. You know what? I don't have a trolley token anymore, and I've just got a quid that sits in the fucking Tesla, and I'm like, it'd be way easier.
Is that because of peer pressure?
What?
You get peer
No,
pressure out of
because
a
I
trolley
lost
token.
my because I used to have keys for
It
everything.
is good to have because you'll end up spending the quid. You never give a homeless guy a trolley token.
No, not unless you're an absolute bastard. Be like, here, use this next time you're doing a big shop in Sainsbury's. Dude, a what? Motherfucker, when I'm in Tesco, it's a basket on a good day. In what world do I need a trolley token? You fucking rat.
That's how I know me and Natalie have moved to a nice area. Is because they trust you with the trolleys.
Do they?
Aye. I've never lived in a place like that in my life.
There is nothing fucking worse than when you get to like Sainsbury's and you just don't have a question. You're like, what? Right. So I've now got to go to a fucking cash point to get a tenner out, to go into the shop to buy a bit of gum, and then go, can you give me a fucking quid just to go back outside the shop and then put a quid in? Hell on earth. Hell on earth. You know what? That's my nam. I don't mind saying it.
Aye, is it? Been through some shit.
Trolley tokens do we work?
So I want to have because I've started.
Do they do nude pens? You know the pens? Aye. Right, so it's like as normal, and then you click it and we've got no clothes on. Is that an option?
I feel like you open the pen to put a clothes on. To feel like, oh God, I've got to do more writing. I can't look at this no more.
We should do, remember those little circle things and you had a magnet?
Pogs?
No. It had a face on it, but you could use all the iron shavings to give
Etch-a-sketch?
But you kind of give them a new haircut. So it'd be like
Oh yeah, like
or a mustache or whatever.
you're doing it like it's small, but they were quite big boards. Them.
Were they?
Yeah, they were like so. You would have like little stamps with magnets on that you could put stuff on.
I mean, I never had that. I
Nah, me neither. It's just that one. I was like,
I grew up in a generation of Dreamcast.
I was just like, can I borrow that when you're finished? Justine. I keep getting your name wrong. I had it in my head for years and years
I was
before you were born.
practicing, when Mum said that you were going to be called Stephanie, I practiced saying Stephanie in front of the mirror over and over and over again. I was holding, the cabbage back kitchen. I was like, Stephanie, so I'm just used to it.
Like, so I hope you didn't practice like giving treats to an imaginary Peggy.
No. Well, not yet. No,
I don't think you can name your animal until you've spent some time with it and getting a gauge on its personality.
No, that's how you name babies. You hold a baby and you're like, oh, that's what I thought this was going to be a Steve, but it's very clearly a Justine.
It's just it might have a completely different nature to the name you're about to assign to it.
What, like if you call it fucking?
Say if you're gonna call,
docile.
if you're gonna call it Darren,
Aye.
right, and then
It's
you get
got
it
to be a scummy wee dog.
Aye, and then you get it, and it's just not an arsehole.
At no point does it bark at children or lick its own arsehole. You're like, oh, you're not a Daz at all.
I don't like.
You ever met a sound Darren?
Like, no offense if you're called Darren.
No.
Right?
At this point, full offence from me personally.
But like, people only hang around with you because you've got a van, and they might need to borrow it.
I'm trying to think if I know any good Darrens.
I didn't have a day.
I
don't think I'm not there. I keep my friends close, my enemies closer, and completely miles away from Darren's.
Any Darren. It was always my fucking go-to joke. If you know someone's any Azza, any of them, not a good person. Gaza, Daza.
Here's how Darren is, right? Darren's like someone that you like contact him because he might be able to get hold of your drugs, and he can.
Aye.
Right? But then like
he'll hang out with you.
Can't get rid of him.
Aye, comes in, all right, boys, we got you those 2 grams of coke you want, so where are we doing them? We're not. Oh,
he mistook me purchase for an invite, man. Like, oh man, if like everyone done this, I couldn't fucking count August for a watch with fucking taking the cashier home with us to fucking, oh yeah, it's your turn to look at the time. We're just casting shit on Darren's. I don't think
Darren goes up to the pub. He's like, I'll get the next round, lads, and then comes back with 5 apple sewers, and you're like, man, right, that's not a shot. That's just you might as well have just put a tiny bit of vodka into some fucking syrup at this point. It's either tequila or
can you remember when Rouge bought were shots in Hive?
I wasn't.
Where like, were you not there?
No.
Oh no, it wasn't even Hive. It was Espionage, the one that's downstairs and
Aye.
tall and different levels. He come with his tray of shots, right? Like fucking we're not even doing rounds of shots. He's just being a
good mate. He's been the opposite of a Daza.
He's been a good mate. He's been a solid lad. He's like, I'm out. I'm at the Fringe. We're having a good time. I don't give a fuck that there's like 9 hour. I'm gonna get everybody a shot, right? And he fucking comes back with a tray on his hand, gives everyone a shot out, and we cheers it and down it, and it was fucking vodka. I've never seen that before.
I have, but only in house parties when I was 15, 16, 17.
And you know it's gonna happen?
Yeah, aye.
Like, and I know, like, most shots that you have, like tequilas and sambucas, they've got a kick and all that, and they send you a bit sideways, but there's something about surprise vodka. Like, you know, even when you're expecting tequila or sambuca, when you're getting hit with surprise vodka, I was like, are we in Russia?
Well, no, because if we were in Russia, it'd be nice vodka.
It wouldn't be warm.
It wouldn't be Glens. It wouldn't be Glens in a badly washed fucking glass.
There was something really jarring about that, right? Where you come along and everyone's like good spirits and cheers, and then you've just got all these people just mouth to the back of the hand going, bam, mate, what's your problem?
That was a horrible prank to play.
What have I done to you? What did you do that for me? Nate's ruined.
The older I get, the more recovery time I need for after a shot. Like, to the point where I'm like, man, if you make me do, like, I'll do most shots. There's some I'll straight up turn down, and toxic masculinity doesn't work on me anymore. You can call me all the names under the fucking sun. I'm not doing a shot of fucking Sambuca ever again.
Are you done with Sambuca?
It's my liver's got a trigger warning, and it's fucking Sambuca. Also, Cafe Patron can now fuck off. I'm done with that. Tequila.
Cafe Patron. You know what? I've started recreationally just having a little nightcap of Kahlua. It's like a coffee one, isn't it?
Oh, I'm very aware of what it is.
Quite like it.
Just because you couldn't wait till Christmas for a fucking Baileys.
Oh, here we go. And fucking soup for breakfast, complaining about what fucking season you're drinking.
Yeah, you can't have Baileys outside of December.
Well, I only had Kahlua because I was out of Baileys, because I drink Baileys on a reg. Yeah, mate, I'm a shit dog, haven't I?
Are you gonna pour some of the fucking Baileys or Kahlua just on your tits and then try and breastfeed your little dog with it and be like, it just creates a bond between us. Lets him know that I'm the matriarch of the family.
That I produce milk.
Aye,
really fucking the devil's milk.
Wait, why is that a term? Why do I know? Why?
Devil's milk.
Oh, that's what Cullen calls Baileys.
Baileys.
That's it. That's why I know it.
I put Natalie come down from my office like on a Tuesday the other day, and I'd put a Baileys in my coffee. It was the other day. It was weeks ago. She corrected us on stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, she was like, that was at the beginning of the summer.
like,
that.
it's
I'm like,
so
oh,
unconducive
so-
to the story. It's so unimportant.
So now she listens, so I'm like, oh, fuck, I'll get this, like, absolutely correct. It wasn't even a Tuesday, it was a Thursday.
Oh man, there's nothing what, like, as somebody that's good at telling stories, literally for a fucking nothing does my nut more when people go, it wasn't at 3 o'clock, it was at 2:30. You're like, it doesn't. It's not the fucking bit. It's so unimportant. It's a minor fucking detail. It's got nothing to do with the setup of the fucking punchline.
Story ruined. Even if I did get it out, it's just ruined for me. It's just like the story's now got a bad taste in my mouth as I'm telling it.
Aye.
It just it just took a blow.
Kara's dead good because, and this is one of the reasons why I know she loves me, and it'll be the first time that she doesn't love me anymore. Do you ever have those moments when you are telling a story that you've obviously told several times before, and then halfway through telling the story to your loved one, you can tell they've already heard it.
Yeah.
You've told this story. The amount of times I'll tell Kara a story, and 2 minutes I'll be like, oh, she's giving me that look where she doesn't know I know, but I know she's heard this. But because she loves me and she knows how important it is for me to tell stories, and
She's letting it
she
out.
just says it, and she'll laugh at the same bit, and she'll go, that's really interesting. And it's just
And
a
then
charade.
you'll only catch on because then she'll like guess a bit that
Aye.
you couldn't possibly guess, and you're like, oh, I must have told it.
Yep. There's been other times when I've been at like parties and I'll be telling a fucking story, and because we're all fucking drinking and people will just slowly like sort of tune out, and then it's just you, the only person that's left listening to your little story. Is your missus, and you're like, all right, well,
She's just hanging on to it just to keep you going, just to keep you motivated, keep the morale up.
He needs this. He likes telling stories. It makes him feel good. So I
He's
like
fine tuning it, you know. He's getting it right on me, so he can tell it at parties.
I'm his whetstone.
He's giving it a bit of a shine.
They say you can't polish a turd, but I've watched him polish this one for fucking weeks now.
It's really shiny, and he's about to feed it to everybody that'll listen. So Natalie came down on a midday on a Tuesday, a couple of weeks back, maybe months.
No, like, can you the hour?
Ballpark, like noon spring.
Right.
Right.
What was she wearing?
And I had poured a little Baileys into my coffee. And she just was like, you're just like a lush housewife. Just like, and not like in the Geordie term of lush.
What's the Geordie term for
Like
lush?
gorgeous.
Oh, you're
like lush.
You're fucking lush, mate.
You're fucking lushy,
You've got a
mate.
lush wee gash.
You're a lush housewife.
You're a
Like you're a
lush gash.
milf.
I'd love to push.
She doesn't count
lush
as
wee cock into. Sorry.
That's all right. I like this. I was missing Linda.
Linda!
So, she was just saying I was a lush housewife. Just cutting up with the suburbia. Is what we called it in the last podcast.
Bailey's in the afternoon.
In my coffee though,
Don't.
instead of milk.
I mean, do you think that would hold up in a court of law?
What do you mean?
Right. I mean,
You know, I got lit up like a Christmas tree by the fucking jury in a court of law once because of what I was drinking.
what? No, but when were you in court?
I was in court.
Well, I mean, obviously you were in court. I don't know what for.
I wasn't.
But
I was
I
a
need you
witness.
to understand. I'm not surprised that you were in court. That makes absolute sense to me.
I was a witness.
Aye. To your own crime.
Then my brother got glassed.
Aye.
And so my brother got glassed, right? And then I fucking ran home and got a knife.
Oh, okay.
And ran back to the pub, and we were locked in, and I couldn't get in the fire door while I was wielding the kitchen
Oh,
knife.
Don, can we
So
go
my-
back to an earlier part in the story, please?
My life nearly took a fucking drastic turn for the worst when I was 18.
Right.
Like that would have been fucking bad if I'd fucking followed through on that drunken plan.
Yeah, to stab someone who
To
flashes.
stab somebody who smashed me brother in the head with a pint glass.
All right, so you were in a pub. Why did the glass gaff? What had he done?
Because we're in a pub in Blythe.
Oh, right, fair enough. Right.
Right. Shit guns down.
Yeah, next part of the story.
I think, you know, it was a long time ago, right? Like 20, it was more than half my life ago, right? And we're out with our lasses. It was three, me, Gav and Sean, and we're girlfriends at the time, right? And it was basically just like fucking anytime any of the girls were separated, the lads were like fucking trying to chat them up or whatever. And I think like they just got messy because we were with them.
Aye.
So we didn't start anything, but Gav got glassed in the head without throwing any punches, without like we didn't hit anybody. We just fucking glassed, got dispersed. Now
And you were like, I'm going to go home and get what kind of knife?
was like a cheese knife with curls up at the end.
How old are you here?
I think I was old enough to drink, which meant my girlfriend wasn't. But she looked older.
Oh, yeah, well, Your Honour, the court rests.
But it was like, it was New Year, and it was the local pub, so maybe we weren't old enough to drink because we weren't taking any risks of being able to like get home if we didn't get served, kind of.
And there wasn't
thing.
I don't condone this type of violence, but there was no other near weapon. You were like, I know just the knife. I know exactly what it is. I can't use any of the glass that's on the floor here. I'm in a pub that serves food. There's definitely a knife somewhere.
I mean, Hughes was just around the corner, and
Right.
there was like this like kind of silver tray of knives that were on the fucking top of the fridge that you like bring out.
You're like, I'm going to use one of Mum's good knives.
Good knives, right? The sharp ones. I fucking mate, like, you know what? I think I've suppressed this memory because I don't think I've spoke about it to this day.
I can see why.
Don't think I've spoke about it this day. This went from me having a Bailey's in the house to like I was trying to stab a cunt in live.
Sometimes I forget just because of like the steps that you've made in recent years. How fucking working class
Man,
you really are.
You know when you're fucking like 18 years old, you're angry at life because fucking everything's shit, right? And you're poor as fuck, and like there's no opportunity. And then
I imagine this is a rhetorical question. You're not actually asking me this.
And you're trying to make the most of it, you know. You've got your dolly birds out for a pint on New Year, and then you see someone fucking smash a pint glass across your brother's fucking scalp.
Aye.
Something switches in your head,
Aye.
right? And like it is bollocks because I would probably still be in fucking jail now if I went through
Absolutely, you
that,
would.
right? I would probably fucking maybe, and if I'm out, I'm a different human being to the one that sat in front of you now. And like
We certainly wouldn't have a podcast.
nah, and I would be a lot less jovial about this story.
Yeah, this story would be coming up on a different podcast, like some sort of BBC Radio Sounds one, where it's like we talk to ex-offenders who have come out and are reintegrating into society about their stories and their crimes.
Aye, but it was like that fucking.
Do you reckon you would have shared a prison with Adam Johnson? Be starstruck.
Oh, I didn't get the button, mate. I didn't get the button, mate.
Yes.
You've got an eye like Adam Johnson button. Now I do too.
Yes.
Fuck's sake.
There it is.
Fuck's
We've got
sake.
welcome to the I Like Adam Johnson
Go on.
podcast. Imagine we put all of this effort into rebrand and redo the podcast, and we're just like, it's called the I Love Adam Johnson podcast. It's not called that. It'll never be called that. Adam Johnson's a horrible person, and may he rot in prison and then hell.
But I was nearly like 10 years into me fucking sentence, giving him me pocket as he come into jail. Like, oh, come on, new fish.
You fucking mack him.
Come on, fucking new fish, Adam Johnson, you're my bitch now.
Aye.
And then, so anyway, fucking, no, whether I would have had the fucking bottle of day, anything, fucking who knows, right?
Yeah,
But-
you had that fucking saw red.
But I saw red, right? And then fucking anyway, like fucking police turned up and fucking statements were taken and all that, right? And
Just you with a cheese knife in your back pocket.
I'm just like, no, got a stick for the dog, hand behind my back. No, I'm just gonna hit you back.
Oh, this is my back scratcher. It's fucking agony. It's really. Don't get wrong. It gets the itch. It gets in there.
No,
Deep.
it's a different wordplay. Like when you say scratching your back, I mean like lasses when they did. I want to put scratch marks to my back. I want to itch it. You're thinking the back itches.
I'm getting this. I'm trying to pick scabs back there. I reckon there's a mole, and I'm trying to scratch this motherfucker off.
So that's not what you do with moles, by the way.
No.
Don't try this at home. Don't. Anyway, I fucking Gav ended up taking Matthew Canning. He was called the court.
Oh.
He'll use his name, whatever.
Man,
Right.
I swear to God, do you earlier on in this episode, you're like, I guess I just don't respect people's privacy. Absolutely you don't.
He classed me, brother.
Ages, you tried to stab the cunt!
Ages ago. Oh, right, I see the point. So,
Aye.
we all had to go and pick him from a lineup.
Oh, aye.
And everybody else
He was the one without a pint glass. It is. That's him. As you can tell. Well, He smashed it, didn't he? So he'll be the one without it. All those ones have got it, so it can't be them.
Yeah, his must be broken. Everybody else picked the right person, all right?
Oh, except for Bong-eyed Guy.
Right, listen.
I did want to. Did
Like, I'm
Bong-eyed-
really-
Wait. This is why you couldn't pick him out in a fucking lineup, and you were gonna stab the cunt. So you were just gonna be fucking going into the pub, stabbing Willy Nilly, who lives in Blythe.
She sells cigarettes. she does backing runs to Tenerife. I'm not trying to get willy-nilly by accident.
Oh, I can't believe you. You wait. All right, sorry. Continue.
So I fucking like time had elapsed. Like I'm bong-eyed, but not only that, I've got aphantasia. I cannot hold the fucking visual image of someone in my head like the rest of the people. I didn't even know this was a condition at the time, right? But like, I just stood in front of this fucking glass that I'm guessing they couldn't see through. And just did the dip because I couldn't fucking tell. I just like, whatever that. And I fucking
Wait, so you right.
I just did the fucking. I didn't know.
You didn't even say like I don't know. I'm bong-eyed and I was drunk and I don't recognise. You were like, definitely that innocent man there. I wanted you a horrible cunt.
I thought it was him.
No, you didn't. You admitted that you were like, it's going to be too embarrassing if I don't know who glassed my brother, especially consider I had a vendetta against the cunt. You're like, him.
I mean, look, I just took a punt.
In the court of law. I just guessed. I thought, look, it's one of them, and we're in Blythe, so even the other four have probably done something. They're going to get got at some point.
Why else do they sign up for this sort of thing? Hiding in plain sight, if you ask me.
Yeah, that is a question, right? People on the lineup. This is.
Who are the other guys?
Who are the other guys? Are they like other?
Because I've never been asked to be on a lineup as an innocent, right? And I look like other criminals.
Do you reckon
I fit the profile.
Do you reckon it's like you're a up and coming actor and your agent
It
phones you
might
up?
be extra work.
I've got your job. What is it? Is it TV? No, but it's police related. The bill. I'm going to be in the bill.
Kind of like the bill.
Yeah, kind of. No cameras, but
yeah, you kind of look like a guy that glassed someone on New Year. So we've
what?
got you in as like a bit of a stunt double.
What did you say? Estelle? What? Huh?
Yeah, you might look. Depending on how absolutely retarded the people are at the other side of the glass, you might get accused of a crime. You might get accused of a crime, but maybe he's not. Probably not. I'm not actually sure what happens if you do get pointed out.
So you pointed at an innocent man.
And then I'm in the box at court later on.
Oh, the box, la-di-da.
And I had them like opera binoculars. You know, like the binoculars on a stick.
Aye.
The popsicle oculars. Nah, that didn't scan. But I'm in the box. And I didn't know what questions they were going to ask us. They don't like queue you up with the questions. You don't get to do research.
They don't send you the script beforehand.
They don't send you the script beforehand and all that, right? And like, everybody else might have mentioned the bit of Buddha's going to knock on the fucking fire door with a knife, right? Mm-hmm. But like, I thought I'd be able to just like exclude that bit. I'm not up for trial here. Right. So they were going like, oh, that's funny you said that you weren't doing that because we've got other testimonies saying that you have. And I'm like, I should really talk to my girlfriend here because we weren't meant to discuss this in court.
So wait, it was brought up in court that you were...
Were you hammering on the door with a knife and all that?
Really?
Oh, fuck, I'm getting asked all these questions.
And you're like, I'm not the one in trial. They're like, by the sounds of things.
Aye. They were like, oh, you picked the wrong guy. And I was like, oh, why am I just finding out about this new? Are you not meant to tell us at the time that I picked the wrong guy? Like, I thought I nailed it because they didn't respond.
Aye.
So anyway, it's not going well. Fucking, I've got to turn this gig around.
I'll bring out some new stuff.
Then they asked the question. They went, at the point when... I'll delete his name out.
No, just don't say it. Just say Steve.
Oh, stop saying his name. Steve, right? At the time when Steve, glassed your brother, like, what had you been drinking up until that point? I did not get asked that, right? I was just fucking there, just like laughing at my hand. I'm trying to tell them what I've been drinking. And I just went, that's fucking 6 archers and lemonade.
Oh, what? 6 archers and lemonade. Hold on. The schnapps.
I'd be drinking.
The fucking
I'd be
peach
drinking
schnapps and lemonade.
Yeah.
No
And I
wonder
was-
he glassed your brother. He was probably fucking aiming for you. Peach schnapps and lemonade.
That's why I didn't glass him back. It was just a little cup. I'd been drinking schnapps. And then they just went, just for the, whatever, like for the record, like, why are you laughing at that? And just in a bout of misogyny, I just went, because it's a girl's drink.
I'm so surprised that during this interview they weren't just like, can we also arrest this guy? Like, can we just like double this up? Like, look, we save on petrol when this guy who's also clearly fucking guilty is on his way to jail. Can we just stick them in the same car, send them to the same one? Whatever Adam Jones can end up.
But it was, the jury laughed. They laughed when I said it was a girl's drink because it was like early thousands. It was maybe like 2001, and it wasn't the millennium, so I think it was after that. It would have been like the New Year 2001. You know, it had been a fucking bad year for everybody. You know, for me and the criminal.
Aye.
I mean, both us criminals, whatever. However you want to spin it. So I fucking he got off is what I'm trying to say.
Did he?
He got off with glassing my brother because of me.
Oh man!
But
Like,
actually,
it's absolutely astonishing that somebody glassed your brother because your brother had a girlfriend that they fancied, and you just come out so much worse. Like, I don't know how, because normally you're the type of person that falls into shit and comes out smelling of roses, but in this incident somebody bought you flowers and you put your thumb in your mouth and shat your fucking pants.
no, look, if that's how you want to look at it, I look at it like I had my first gig and got a taste for the crowds. I made the jury laugh.
With sex, well, it doesn't explain your first 5 years of material.
And I am that shit out of my soul. The ingrained sexism, you didn't know that.
Oh man!
But Gav got us back. Like he got a bouncer off the hook for kicking the shit out of me.
Aye.
Can you mind that?
Aye.
In a nutshell, this is what happened. Right, we've been to the Bolton game. This is 2012. We've told the story on the podcast.
We have.
before.
I'll do it in a nutshell. In a nut, you went to a pub afterwards. One of your friends was passed out there, but just
You
passed
fell
out at the
asleep.
table. Doorman took umbrage to it, tried to throw you out. You end up in a big, massive fight where you end up.
So he tried to throw Brucey out. Brucey was asleep, didn't know where he was, and I was just like, I was pretty sentient. I just went, 2 minutes, mate. We've got a taxi booked. It's coming to pick you up any minute. I'll look after him. And then he turned around and started chucking me out, like hands on, chucking me out. And I didn't think he realised this when he was chucking us out. But the bar consisted only of my friends.
Aye.
I was out with about 12 people, right? And it became a fucking western. Because he was throwing me out and I put my hands on the door frame and he was trying to wrench us off the door frame and then he started punching us in the back of the head. I ended up like headlocking with this guy. I kneed him in the face at one point and fucking put one of his teeth out, this doorman, right? And we fucking ended up, like all the other doormen come in and batter me pals and we get fucking ragdolled doing the fucking back alley.
It's just the one where they basically put you down and tried to curb stomp you to death.
So that was one event, was us getting kicked out the pub. The second event was we've collected our forts, we've dusted our Saldoon, we've like, no one's got anything broken, but we're like bust up a little bit, right? And the next thing you know, all the fucking doormen from the area come round and make a circle of runders, like a fucking dog fight.
Aye,
While
turn
this
you into
guy-
soggy biscuit.
This guy with a fucking bloody mouth and his shit tail hanging out and all that just come and kicked fuck out of us.
Aye.
Like kicking us in the face and all that. It's like I'd been in a tumble dryer. You know what, right? So I'm in the jury. I'm fucking obsessed. I'm at the police with a solicitor, like going through everything that's happened, right? And they were like, "We've got the footage," and they showed us the footage. And now I watched myself get kicked the fuck, right? And I watched myself just bounce straight back up to my feet. Afterwards, I was so proud, right? And then they were like, "This is a revenge attack. Whatever happened in the bar, whatever blame you've got in the bar, his jurisdiction's fucked
Aye.
because you're over the road and you're getting attacked on a separate occasion.
Aye.
The guy's done, right? But he he's saying his colleague will drop the charges on your brother if you drop the charges on him. Like, it's this fucking truce kind of fucking thing, right? And I'm like, what?
Despite the fact that your one was a murder attempt on you.
I was like, what was my brother's thing, right? And my brother in 2012, I don't know if you fucking seen what he looked like then, but he was on fucking steads and he was about fucking 70
He was
stone.
he was an Adonis, a literal Adonis.
Massive, right? He chucked one of the doormen out of his own bar and said, "Don't come back, you barred." And it was written down as the statement from the doorman that got thrown out of his own bar. And they were like, well, if you drop the charges on this guy, he'll drop the charges on your brother.
Aye.
I was like, I owe him one.
I found out that your brother was drinking Baileys and ice cream.
Aye.
Why are you laughing, Gavin? Oh, it's a Christmas drink, innit? Julie laughed.
Oh, dear me.
Aye. I've never been in a fight.
Nah, never once. Not even one.
I've been punched.
You were like, you want to fight that I took away from you that time in Edinburgh.
Yeah, but at no point did I participate in that fight. I just got headbutted.
Ah, you headbutted you.
Aye.
That's funny.
Aye,
before I joined in, I just like finished my popcorn. Had a little watch.
I do hope he's dead.
Probably.
Fingers crossed.
He looked like he would have been high risk during the pandemic.
Aye, just a big
big
ugly
boy.
ginger cunt. I mean, I knew why he was angry.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be angry if I looked like that. Like, there's no way I was the first person to point out that he wasn't attractive. It was probably a trigger point for him. That's probably why he headbutted me. Yeah. But he was homophobic in my defence.
He was homophobic in your defence?
He was.
In your defence, he was homophobic?
Yes, aye, that. Yeah, aye. Called us gay. And then I gave him a lecture on on how I wouldn't mind if I was gay and that I'd rather be gay than spend a second looking like him. And I don't think he appreciated the lecture.
Nah.
So he headbutted me.
And
then my boyfriend beating him up.
Yeah, your boyfriend joined in. He made, even though I was walking alongside you and you were with Beebs, you were both dressed nice and smart.
And Fraz.
Fraser was there as well, wasn't he? He had no reason to believe that I was with you.
No, you didn't. You did not look like Natalie hadn't dressed you at this point. You were still very much dressing yourself. That's
true. I mean, what? I defend that completely.
Now, I don't know if everyone knows this, but obviously we've just announced the America tour, which is hopefully going ahead. Now, I don't know how many American listeners we have, but I imagine it's more than 300, but less than 1,000. So you can buy tickets to the fucking shows now, and I am going to read them out. Like, I'm just going to, mainly for myself.
And anybody who sees us at live shows, you're going to get special attention off if you're wearing any of the Sloss and Humphries merch. I might blank you if you're wearing Team Cream, but I don't think that'll affect your life any.
At that point, you've made your decision. Let's do some other shows. Gibraltar, that's not sold out yet. So if we have any listeners in Gibraltar,
also new territory for us. It's quite rare that we're doing new place.
Aye,
and we've got a couple coming up.
Not sold out. The second Athens show is not sold out yet. Glasgow, the SEC. Scottish people. Next Saturday, 28th, Glasgow, SECC, and Edinburgh. Last time I'm doing this show in Edinburgh is on the day before that, the 27th and it's full capacity at the Festival Theatre. As for our America dates, this is October the 13th, Boston, Washington, New York, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Atlanta, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Albany, Concord, Grand Rapids, Cincinnati, Ann Arbor, Chicago, Madison, Minneapolis, San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Houston, New Orleans.
That is fucking exciting, by the way.
Aye.
I'm so like, this is like, I'm so buzzed, and we've been like, so many people have messaged on Instagram and stuff since the tour dates have went out, like, oh shit, I'm seeing you in Boston, I'm seeing you here, I'm seeing you there, and it's like fucking yes, right? But there's such a big part of us that's just been let down by everything that's been exciting. Like everything, like the Bali trip, Altitude getting postponed a couple of times, like fucking everything that's been, like even this Portugal trip that we're going on was meant to be the girls coming, and then because of double vaccination they can't. Like there's been so many things that I'm just fucking, I'll not believe it until I'm there.
Aye.
But we're doing everything in our power to make it happen.
Aye, and to the people, we were meant to be doing a show in Florida, but obviously Florida, you've got, your own opinions on COVID, and I think what you want to think. Personally, I'm not able to. Just like I can't get sick, I can't cancel this tour. Like Daddy needs the fucking money, and I just can't take the fucking risk. It was my choice, by the way. We tried to work out with the venue, but we just couldn't get it done. But we are potentially looking into adding a Florida show. I will keep you updated on that.
And we've got one show left in the Fringe.
Oh, it's that Festival Theatre, 27th.
Your 27th, and on that day, I'm going to be doing new material with Gareth and Ryan over at the Gilded Balloon at 9 o'clock on the 27th. And even though that show is listed for 3 more days, I'm only on the 27th.
And do you know the name of our merch website yet?
Just click on the link. That's what people do.
Where?
On my Twitter, my Instagram, on the Patreon.
Right, okay.
It's like Muggins -cream .spreadshirt.com.
Right.
I'll just click on the link.
Just click on the link. Sounds easier.
Your dads. Do you know we've got like a third tier on the podcast now where it's called Your Dad, and people have adopted her, and for the extra payment they get, like, they're our dads now.
Oh,
it's nice. We're giving I've told you this anyway. We're giving them signed posters,
okay,
to thank them for joining, and then if they've sustained pledges, we'll send them personalised thank you videos, and they get free tickets to any live shows that we do. I'm putting on live shows.
Oh, right. I thought you meant like tour shows. I was like, good luck getting that past Marlena.
No, sorry. If anyone misinterpreted that, we're going to put on some live podcasts.
All right, okay.
And we'll put them on like what the Stand stream did. So like obviously people, if we put on a show in Edinburgh, our patrons will not be able to watch them in Edinburgh if they live in whatever Minneapolis, right?
Aye.
But we'll put it. Put it on a link on a stream. So anybody that's on tier 2 or higher, I'll get like a free link to the stream.
Just copy and have a word, basically. That's the plan.
Is that what they're doing? Exactly.
They do live show. Not exactly.
Actually, Adam helped us out a little bit with the structure of it all. He's very knowledgeable with progressing podcasts.
And altruistic. He's not precious about it. He doesn't mind. He's just his whole. I've really respected his whole thing. I've just been like, man, I want everyone else to have a podcast that's successful because it benefits us all if all of our podcasts are successful.
Yeah, and he's like, if people guest on each other's podcasts and it sells a few tickets for your tour shows, it's great for live comedy.
Aye, it's very nice of him.
Yes. So now when we're talking about your dads, it's some of the listeners have like adopted one house. So.
Your dad knows 500 different slurs for Eskimos.
Name them. Name 3.
Eskimo's
one of them, I think.
Oh, is it? Or is that? or is that just one of the fucking headlines? Like one fucking lefty made one stupid fucking comment. It was turned into a fucking headline, and then the right were like, "You motherfucker! Look how insane you are!" I'm like,
I love like making fun of that type of format. You know, and you go, "I did it, ladies and gentlemen, and boisterous men who just don't know their own size." Right, I want to be inclusive, okay? Your dad's got cauliflower ears from getting his head stuck in a jar of honey like Winnie the Pooh. And by Winnie the Pooh, I meant he just had a t-shirt on and no trousers.
Your dad's audition for Gogglebox was him booing players taking the knee.
Oh, God.
It's just not right. It's just not right. My dad didn't die for this.
Keep politics out of football. Your dad says you've got his penis. Well, that's what he stipulated on his donor card.
Your dad phoned Ofcom to complain about discrimination after Blue Peter wouldn't read out his letter.
Last time I saw your dad, he was being chased out of the butcher's with a string of sausages in his teeth.
Your dad fancies Shrek.
Princess Fiona, I would call him. I said your dad's name in the mirror 5 times and eventually took the rolled up note out of my hand and had his line.
Your dad's drafted Emiliano Sala in his fantasy football team this season.
Oh, wait there.
I know it's a terrible decision. I don't know how he fucked that up so bad. Kev, watch the news, man.
Yeah, he had one of the red marks next to his name. Like, if he clicked on it, would have said 100% not playing. When your dad yawns, he waves his arms like one of those inflatable air dancers at a car dealership.
All right, that's the podcast. Fuck off.
Look, keep checking in on YouTube. I'll mention it on Patron and socials, but we might have a video to go with this one. It'll be like a bit later.
All right, sweet.
But
Fingers
but if
crossed.
you've listened to it now, I mean, just wasting your time because you've already heard it.
Aye. But now you can see it in
Now you can-
4K.
Now you can see how utterly ashamed I look when I'm admitting I nearly stabbed someone when I was 18.
With a fucking cheese knife.
It wasn't a cheese knife.
No.
Nah. I just use it for cheese. Stop the podcast.